Well, Coach, didn't get to be quite a full meet, but a duel at least. You got to see some good effort from your team, a couple of throwing champions, and a couple of PR setting. And you had to feel pretty good about how your team performed.
Yeah, I was happy to get something in, I guess, kind of based on the weather and, not sure if we could even get down there. So I was happy to get down to Mary, competing. I explained to all of them this is basically like just taking live reps, and we just wanted to put the uniform on, shake the rust off, kind of get back into the routine of things so that we're ready as we move forward to some of these bigger meets, settle the nerves, things like that. And I think you've seen it in the workouts that have happened since the meet. We're feel like a little bit more ready, things like that. So I was really happy. Obviously, like we had 4 champions and 2 school records. So on a meet that you don't put a whole lot of investment into, I guess, certainly happy with those results.
Kind of talk about some of the big performances and what you saw out of it.
Yeah, so we swept the throwing events, and I think on paper, if that didn't happen, it probably would have been a little bit of a letdown on our end. But obviously, Taylor Lohmeyer broke our weight throw school record, and then won the shot put. And then Logan Kruger, he won the weight throw and also the shot put. So those were the 4 champions. I guess 2 champions that won 4 events. So happy with that. Obviously Taylor breaking the school record and Abby breaking the school record in 1,000. I don't know that it could happen to 2 more deserving people than we have a part of our program. I mean, Taylor comes in every day with a business-like mindset, gets it done. She is ready to go every Saturday that she steps into the throwing ring. Abby, I told our team, there's probably no one more deserving than her that, in terms of getting a school record. She was our 1-2 last year in cross, and then we brought in a huge recruiting class, some really talented ladies, and she slid back a little bit in the fall, and she was somewhere in between our 2 and 5, and so she wasn't our top dog, I guess, if you will, and she's someone that, from her freshman year to now, the transformation that has happened has been phenomenal. She was probably, I know last week we were talking about the whole star rating. She probably wasn't even a star or 1 or 2 stars. She was a 550 high school miler and a 13-minute 2-miler and 20 plus in the 5K, and so she has just worked her tail off since I arrived, and with a lap to go, I was pretty sure she was going to get second. Like, she wasn't going to catch first place, and third place wasn't going to get her. And I looked at my watch and I said, at this point, this girl deserves this school record. I just hope she can get in fast enough to get it. So certainly very happy for her, and she's been in the top 10 in a bunch of events, but never held a school record. So I was super stoked for her more than anything.
Some pretty good performances on the men's running side as well. Can you kind of highlight some of those?
Yeah, Landon Dunlap, or I guess he was a men's champion I failed to mention earlier, but, he won the mile in a somewhat tactical race, and he's a true freshman, so to show that kind of like savviness right out of the gate, I think bodes well for, the rest of indoors and into outdoors. I had pretty high expectations in terms of what he could do. Certainly we were hoping he could win. We weren't sure who Mary was running. He had some very good workouts over, the winter break, so I knew he was fit, but he executed the race plan really well, and, powered down the last 60, 70 meters, to pull away for the win. So yeah, he did really well. And, we held out Adrian. He'll debut this week, so we're excited about that. But, on our men's side, we got a little bit more work to do than our women's side. We're not as deep. Some guys are battling some little injury bugs and things like that, so we definitely got to get healthy next week, week to week. And, yeah, I told them we're about 5 weeks away from the conference championship, so we want to make sure we're taking care of those little things, making sure that, we didn't want to run lights out on Saturday and not be able to do that 5 weeks from now. That's the ultimate goal is, being in Mankato, being ready to go, being ready to contend for whether it's just a podium spot or a conference championship.
Do your results this past weekend change your expectations for the rest of the winter season?
No, I wouldn't say they changed my expectations. I think the people who we thought were going to have some really high-level performances, that happened for those people. And I think for some of those role players, I guess, they, it gave me a better idea of where we stand and what adjustments we can make to get them where they need to be to help the team in a month's time. I wouldn't say my expectations have changed. I think it's just our outlook, remains the same. We want to go into this Friday at SDSU, being ready to compete, to take the next step. As we get further and further into the season, I think we'll get a better picture of, where individuals stand in terms of podium finishes or conference championships. I think there were 4 or 5 teams that, they were on the eastern portion of the state, and they didn't even get to compete this weekend. So it's hard to say, like right now, someone like Landon, who's ranked 3rd, there's probably quite a few people that haven't run yet that he's going to be very competitive with. So it's hard to say, like, hey, like this is where we are before we know the full picture.
So this weekend's meet is going to be like your first real big meet. So what are your expectations for this weekend then?
Well, like last week we were talking about just getting out there and breaking the rust. Well, we've shook off all the rust, and we want to go out there and really compete at a high level now. There's going to be some teams that NSIC South teams that we don't normally see. So we want to get out there and mix it up with them. Now we want to look to really punch our ticket or a few tickets to the conference championships for some of these kids. We want to get that out of the way and make sure that from here on out we're focused on either 1, getting fitter, or 2, working on a few race tactics, things like that, and we're not worrying from week to week like are you in, are you out. We want to, I'd love to walk away from this meet Friday night saying, we have 10 individuals that are going to conference, and we know now like this is a core group of who's going to Mankato in February.